Today we are going to talk about the grand staff, the ledger lines, and the scale. This is another aspect of music that really needs to be understood before thinking about playing sight reading with any instruments. Okay, so what is grand staff? Grand staff or great staff by the British is combination of two 5-line staffs. So we have the upper for the treble clef and the lower for the bass clef, and the specific instruments that make use of the grand staff, like the piano. So, and another one is writing for a choir in close score. So when you are writing in close score, you can make use of the great staff also. Okay, so today that's what we'll be treating today. Forget about that and feel that is okay. Focus here. Don't listen to what someone is cooking. Okay. Okay, so and we are gonna first start with the key in the key of C, with the key of C, to see how it works, because when we understand key of C, then we can understand other keys and the scale degrees too. Because for instance, now maybe if you're playing, I can tell you, in fact mostly you will not be seeing me or those things. That's not what will be said when we enter chord. Mostly someone can tell you, can you play the immediate of C or dominant? Oh yeah, dominant, that's dominant, that's stuff like that. So you need also to understand the scale degree, because it's really helpful too. And then for the key of C, we are gonna do it on a grand step. And I also mentioned ledger lines. What is ledger lines? I've already said in my previous video that ledger lines are smaller lines, that is musical condition that is used to extend the pitches of music, because only the 5 lines here cannot contain all the pitches in music, in keyboard, any instrument. So ledger lines are now used to extend those notes. Okay, so we are gonna see what we can do on the key of C today, C major. And then C major, I've already in my last class I talked about C major and the notes combination, the notes that make up the scale of C major, which I said that C major is a key with neither sharp nor flat. So it's a natural key and it's beginner's key. That's the key that every beginners begin with. But my own story was different, as when I was playing on the piano, it was very difficult for me to master key C. Thank God for key G. Even for key G, I don't know if maybe I would have given up long time ago, because I tried key C and it didn't work for me. But you see, my own story is different. Okay, so in key C we have C, we have D, we have E, F, G, and B that make up the scale of C. Okay, and then I also said that we are going to talk about what we call scale degree. But first, let's understand the note components of in the scale of C, which we said is C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Okay, so then we are gonna apply them on this step, and I'm trying to be faster than my shadow because I have a whole lot of stuff to teach, like the graded exams and everything. So that's all I'm trying to be faster. Otherwise I would have used one step for today and another one for tomorrow. But whatever the case may be, I'm gonna explain it and make it simple for everyone to understand. Okay, so as I made mention of ledger lines. So ledger lines, we have ledger lines above treble clef, and we also have ledger lines below treble clef, and we have ledger lines above bass clef and below bass clef. So the first line in bass clef is what? G. This is that G. And normal alphabetical order, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Before G, there might have been a letter before G. And if G is on a line, that means before then, the letter will be on a space. and that letter is F on a space. And since we have F on a space, before F, there must be a letter which will be on a line. And since we cannot write more than long 5 lines, so now we apply ledger lines, and the ledger noun is now smaller lines which is only attached when needed. You don't just write it and keep for fun. You only use it when your composition needs it. So now before F, we have E. And if you see, this note looks like this one and it looks like this one, but they are different. They are all different notes, different letters. So that means before F, we have E. And now that E is the first ledger line below bass clef. E is the first ledger line now below bass clef. And before E, there must be a note on a space. Now this is the line. This is the line. Before another line, there is a space. So that space now we have D. We have D on that space. We have D on that space. And before D, since we already have D is on a space, before D, that means the next letter will now be on a line, which leads us to the second ledger line below bass clef, which is C. So the second ledger line below bass clef is C. And if you write like this, you're wrong. If you write this, you're wrong. Because if you write this, it means this. So what you are writing should show that you are writing because see the calculation. This is if we are saying this is C. Let's check if we can reach somewhere else. Now C on a line, space, we have what? D. Another line we have E. Another space we have F. Another line we have G. Let's see if we reach G. You see now. So the first line below bass clef is known as first ledger line below bass clef is E. Space is D. Second ledger line is C. Space is B. For instance, if I'm to write this now, that is B. This will be B. So, and it keeps descending in that order. Very simple order. It keeps descending. That's the order. And then, okay, so we've treated the scales, 2 ledger lines below bass clef, which is enough for us for now. And if you need more, you can keep it calculating. It's very simple. You keep descending them below bass line. If after C, what do we have? Oh, before C, what do we have? B, and then A. I mean, the next ledger line will be A. You can keep adding as many as you want. Okay. So now we have, that's how we have C, D, E, first ledger line below, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. This C is known as middle C. This C. So this is the first ledger line below treble clef, which is known as C. Remember, the first ledger line below bass clef is E, and the first ledger line below treble clef is C. Okay, if the first ledger line below treble clef is C, let's see the first ledger line above bass clef, what it will be. Okay, first let's see how we get this first ledger line below treble clef, C. Now, see how this works. E is the first line in treble clef, right? E is the first line in treble clef. Now, before E, just as the other one, before E we have D, which is on a space. Before E we have D, which is on a space. And if D is on a space, you know the next note now should be on a line. And since we don't have any other line again, we now make use of the smaller lines. So the first smaller line we need now to add will be for C. So that is how we get our first ledger line below treble clef to be C. Now let's see our first ledger line above bass clef, what it will be. Okay. So the fifth line in bass clef. First, I hope you've been able to memorize everything about names of lines and spaces in both clef. Because if you've not, you need to go back to my second, third, fourth video. We've treated that already. Okay, so the fifth line in bass clef is what? Is A, right? Is A. If your fifth line in bass clef is A, okay, so after A, you remember when you are going down, you are doing before. When you are going down, you are doing before A. When you are going up, you are doing after. For instance, C, when you are going like this, you are doing before, or you are doing after, like after me, after A, after B, after A. But when you are going like this, you are doing before. So don't forget that. Don't go and do after down. After is ascending and before is descending. Okay. So let's see. This last line is A, right? This is A. After a line, we need to have a space first before a line, because there's no, in fact, look at your finger now. Or look at your finger. There's no way you reach another of your finger without a space. So that is how it works. There's no way you reach your second finger. There must be a space, and that space should not be omitted. You can't get A in a line and get B in a space. It's not possible. If A is in a line, B must be in a space. You can't skip this space for any reason. So don't forget. Don't always forget this. So since we already have A in a space, what will be in the line now? Or since we already have A in a line, what will be in the space? Is B. And since we don't have any other line to add C, what do? We add ledger lines. Now let's see here. You had A on a line, and the next note now will be in the space B. You may be wondering why not line before the space. I've already said you can't reach two lines without a space. So on a line now, on a space. Since you don't have more musical lines, you now use ledger lines. And that is how we reach our first ledger line above bass clef. If A is this last fifth line in bass clef and the space is B, first ledger line now will be C. So you see how we reach our ledger lines now. It's as simple as that. And you can add as many as you want. For instance, I can choose to add. See what I'm doing? This is on a line, and this space will now be B. And this is another line, which I said is C. That's C. We are going up now. First line now, C. And this will be a space now where we will have D. And another line where we have our E. So when you are going up, you are adding before or after A. So when you are going down, you are doing before. Don't forget this. It's very important. Okay, now let's talk about our scale now. C major scale consists of C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. How do we know our major scale? Major scale is determined by the first note, by the tonic. Like the tonic is what makes it the major. That's Do. Major scale is Do. So if it's major scale, the tonic and minor scale is still the tonic that determines what scale it is. For instance, if I say do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, already automatically that is a major scale. But if I say la, ti, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, that is a major scale. Or la, ti, do, re, mi, fa, si, la, whatever is minor scale. La, that la already determines the tonic of any scale determines what nature of scale it is. So at this juncture we are dealing with the major scale. So it consists of C, D, E, F, G, second line in treble play, A, B, C, and I'm descending again. And each scale, each degree has its name, because I will mostly be using this scale decrease name. I won't be saying, I may not really be using mi, fa, others. I may just be saying median, subdominant, dominant, leading notes, sub, tonic, whatever I may want to use. Okay, so in scale degrees, do is called tonic. Re, that's the second degree. That's because you don't go and call D in another place supertonic, because it won't be so everywhere. So let me write this. Do is the tonic. In every major scale, do is the tonic, re is the supertonic, as the second degree. You see, it's super and the tonic. Mi is the mediant, fa is subdominant, about to dominate, and so is dominant. La is submediant. T is leading note, or you can still call it subtonic. And if it reaches another do, as from do to do, that means it's an octave. Like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, that's octave now. Or do, ti, la, do, mi, re, do, that's octave below. Okay, so I say do, tonic, do, re, supertonic, mi, mediant, fa, subdominant and subdominant, la, submediant, still in note or subtonic, do, octave. You get it? Okay. So that is the scale degree, and which you really need to learn it also, because I've seen such questions in the grades exam. This is why I'm bringing it now. Okay, so this is where we are going to stop today. And C is do in the key of C. D is re in the key of C. E is mi in the key of C. F is fa in the key of C. G, this is G, and this is G, is so in the key of C. A is la in the key of C. B is T in the key of C, and C itself, I've already said, is do. So you need to write this down and master them, because next class I will still use the key of C and show you the placement on the keyboard, because each of these notes, you don't just say because I've said this one is C, you play anyhow C. That is not how it is done. Because this one is C doesn't mean you play it in any place you see C. You need to know the exact pitch, the exact octave of these notes on the staff when playing it on your various instruments. So in our next class, I think that is what I will be treating. Meanwhile, for now, enjoy this class, and I love you.